Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Trying to get this video done before any storms start to hit in because the winds are really starting to pick up and the camera was wanting to fly over and I got a tree branch wanting to hit me right in the face. It's good times. But we got to get this message out because not too many people are talking about it. We're focused on, well, right now it seems like the big focus is goodness, tree branch is just wanting to get me. The big focus seems to be the whole Trump thing, and while that certainly could be something important depending on how you look at it, we are seeing a lot of other things going on. And you know, the video this morning, if you missed it, it's very possible that video has been deleted by now, because I said when I posted it I plan on deleting it within hours afterwards. So if you missed this morning's video, you can go over to Rumble and watch it there. I'll leave a link down in the description below to go watch that. But I was talking about all the possible violence this week that's being not folks like you and I. We're not saying that there's going to be violence, but the far left is saying that there could be protests and even potential violence this weekend. And then we have Trump apparently is going to be arrested. He's been arraigned, or he's been charged with 35 counts, and apparently he's going to be arrested come Monday or Tuesday. And so you've got the far left and portions of the far right finding a reason to become very upset and potential get out on the streets and do things. And who knows if there could be a clashing of that. It's certainly something to consider. And I don't think that that's blowing things out of proportion. I think that that's probably part of the plan, is to get all these different sides to the point that they hate each other and that they want to just go out and fight each other. I think you can, if you read between the lines, you can see a pattern of basically trying to force a type of civil war on people. But there's other things going on, and the whole war front in Eastern Europe is really starting to kick up again. It's funny how it goes in like the ebbs and flows and stuff, that it'll get really exciting and you think that it's about ready to really kick off, and then it kind of, you know, gets downplayed a little bit in the news. Well, right now it's not being talked about a whole lot, but there's definitely things going on. North Korea has pledged 50,000 troops to fight alongside Russia in Ukraine. 50,000 troops. That's pretty significant. It's not been any word yet on when those troops would be delivered or how they would go about that, but 50,000 troops have been pledged by North Korea to go to Ukraine. And even if that doesn't happen, just kind of just saying this could cause things to kind of escalate. Putin has signed another decree ordering the conscription of 147,000 troops between April 1st and I think June or something like that. So there'll be a lot more conscriptions going on in Russia. The Netherlands and Germany, they're joining forces. The Netherlands has pledged basically its military to work alongside with Germany, and so those forces are growing. Poland has said that if things don't work out like we have planned in Ukraine, then we should turn our focus to Belarus, and that we should take the fight there, because Belarus is getting not just tactical nukes but strategic nukes apparently from Russia, and just kind of an escalation there because of that. Russia has said, or at least Lukashenko, I can't remember how to pronounce it, has said that if Russia thinks that they are going to lose or that they could be destroyed, then they will absolutely use nuclear weapons. Absolutely use nuclear weapons. So that's being said. We're watching just the ever increase in forces and the increasing of tensions that just don't seem to be downplayed or brought down at all. No one really, I mean, I know I can't really say no one is trying to work out peace. I mean, China has proposed a peace deal. Even the United States has said, well, you know, we have our own little peace deal that Russia would have to agree to. But neither side has proposed anything that has any chance of actually being agreed upon. And so the reality is it's all just, you know, smoke and mirrors, dog and pony show, to sound good, so that they can, each side can tell their people and have their controlled media say, oh, see, the Americans, the American government, we're trying to have peace. Oh, see, the Chinese, yes, we're trying to have peace too. We're trying to lead it. Boy, that branch just won't get out of the way. And the reality is it's all fake. We all know that. No one has any intentions of coming about to some sort of peace agreement with all this. The direction where all this is headed is certainly not very good, especially when you look at the broader perspective on the global front, where you've got Saudi Arabia signing a security agreement now with China. You have the BRICS nations officially now saying that they are developing a global reserve currency, a global currency to compete with the US dollar. Now, this doesn't sound too much as a surprise because it's been talked about and rumored for a while, but this apparently is the first official recognition of that they are going to do that. And then, of course, there's several other nations that are have either applied or are trying to get on board with the whole BRICS pact, and very much in opposition of the West, NATO and the G7 and all that kind of stuff. Finland is being officially adopted as another NATO state, so there, once again, NATO is expanding on and encroaching on Russian borders, which I'm sure is not going to calm anything down whatsoever. Everything that we're seeing happen points to more escalation. And then we see all this other stuff going around. You know, we see, of course, like I mentioned, the Trump arrest and the transgender, you know, protests planned. I think they said that they might cancel the one in Washington, D.C., but the rest are still on, and we're seeing a very, very wide divide. And really, this is not about whether someone wants to be called a pronoun or this or that, or, you know, be recognized for this choice or that. This is really a battle between traditional values, biblical Christian values, and the far left and their very worldly intentions. That's really what all this is about, and that's what we're seeing play out alongside all of the, you know, devaluation of the U.S. dollar, alongside the very real potential for a growing war, global war. I mean, there's already a war and it's already growing, but we're talking a world war where everyone's involved in it. We're seeing that potential increase more and more, and it's like people just aren't even paying attention. They're just not noticing. They're focused on something else in the pop news. They're focusing on really ridiculous things, okay? Instead of paying attention to the fact that the whole world is kind of starting to fall apart, okay? That's what I've talked about for quite a while now, of how we are witnessing the controlled destruction of our society. I think it's all for a purpose, and I think that probably the best way that you and I can kind of have a hedge against that, because there's no way to completely isolate yourself from any of the problems. There's no way to prepare ultimately so that nothing affects you. But there are ways to prepare to make things a little bit easier, you know, make that transition, because it is going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable. Even if the good guys win, I think that a transition and a kind of a changing of the guard, a reset is going to happen regardless. And so that's why I've promoted to be as self-sufficient as possible, to do for yourself, to cut that umbilical cord from the government, from the system, from the fragile infrastructure around us. It doesn't mean that you can do everything on your own. Some may be able to, but it means that you're not as highly dependent. And when those systems crash and fail, even though you may have to suffer a little or you may have to do without, it's not that you're so tethered to it that it brings your whole world down to a crashing halt. And it doesn't really matter what your your experience and your training, your skills level. Some people are prepared for this, very well prepared for this. Some people can handle themselves. Some people not so much. Maybe you're disabled, maybe you're a single mother, maybe you're a widow, maybe you're just elderly, or you're in bad health, and you're saying, how in the world can I do all the things that I need to do to be self-sufficient, to prepare for what's happening? I mean, I'm stuck in this apartment, and well, when everything comes crashing down, I'm going to be stuck here and could perish. Only if you allow yourself. Only if that's the mindset that you have. If you have the mindset to prevail and to conquer and to defeat all of this evilness that's bearing down upon us, if you gird yourself up like a man, and I know some of you are saying, but I'm a woman. Let's just stick with the metaphors here, folks. You gird yourself up like Job was told, and to strengthen yourself and to be determined to prevail against all of this that's happening, even though the dollar may crash, even though it may inflate and hyperinflate, it may be difficult to purchase food, medical care may not be as available, electricity may not be as available. We don't know what will happen. We can prevail against this because of our determination, and because we have the Almighty Father on our side. And if we hold true to those truths, then we have a much greater chance of prevailing against the chaos that's happening around us. And that is exactly what it is. It is just absolute chaos at every corner and every stage. It's to the point that it's difficult sometimes to make a video and to figure out which chaotic subject am I going to talk about today, because there's about 10 that's pressing. And so we have to acknowledge and realize that these things are real and they're happening, and they will affect us, no matter how prepared we are, no matter how much land you have, no matter how self-sufficient you are. These things absolutely will affect us. They will negatively affect us. Things will be tough, no matter how prepared you are. But we can prevail against them. We can get through it. We can survive what's coming. Only if your heart is where it needs to be, and you've prepared in that way, and you have the mental preparedness to go along with it. And then the physical stuff, that just makes it a little bit easier. That helps you along the way. So that's why I advise stocking up, preparing physically, preparing mentally up here. Get your mind in a place that you can handle the tragedies that this world may face, and then most definitely preparing spiritually, getting your heart right with the Father and His Son, because above all, this is really just spiritual warfare that's taking place, and those of us that have the ear to hear and the eyes to see are aware of that. We can see that there's spiritual warfare. When you can see 12-year-old little boys, 12 and 13-year-old little boys dressed up as girls, dancing extremely provocatively and very much likened to a striptease for adults, and see that as being praised and worshipped in a sense as being normal, you could pretty much guarantee we're seeing spiritual warfare. Folks, right now is the time to get your houses in order and to prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.